What's up, everybody? I believe we are live. Who will be the first in the chat? Our number one chatter. All right, on my phone it says I'm live. Aris is first. Aris was the big prize. Mayor, bonus marks for saying subscribe to MrStav.ca. MrStav's YouTube. I tried to edit my personal settings, Mayor, so that MrStav would be searchable on YouTube, and the board has locked actually the ability for us as teachers, and probably you guys too, to change your personal details like that. So couldn't do it. Zane is in the house. What's up, Zane? Mayor. That's true. RS beat you because you had a longer message. That's okay. Robles! Robles in the house. Jose in the house. Robles, I need your grad stuff. Make sure you get me your grad stuff. Cole! It is. He is here. Jose, I got your alternate grad photo. You are good to go. Justin, you're in the house. What's up, people? The board are haters. Something about control and keeping things normal. I don't know. Cole says the hashtag works. Wait, it does? You're lying. Cole, you're kidding me right now. Cole, don't do this to me. I added the hashtag somewhere, but I didn't think it would work. Can anybody confirm? Gary Shaw wants to know, is this math or science? And if you look, I guess you can't see it if you're on your mobile device. It is our math lesson. Mondays are for math. Math Mondays. Janae gave me the long high. Addison gave me the medium high. What's up? Guys, I have been working very hard. Kurt, what's up? I've been working very hard on your grad, on your ceremony. It is looking fresh, okay? It is looking tight. A number of you guys are missing your some quotes. I'm going to tell you this. If you don't give me a quote, I'm going to make your quote, "Be awesome today, Mr. Stav." I'm going to quote me. How about that? Aiden, what's up? Holla. So, Kayla Robles, get it in, or you're going to be quoting me for the rest of your life at your grade 8 grad. Somebody knows Sebastian. Give him a text and say, Sebastian, Mr. Stav needs your stuff. How about this? If you don't send me a baby photo, I'm going to look up some other online baby photos. Hilarious baby photo. I could put this as your baby photo for grad. Yeah. So make sure you get your stuff in. And do it quick, because I got tons of work to do. Seriously, like hours and hours of work to make this awesome for you. So you guys got to do your part so that I can do my part. All right, who's ready for high school? Come on, chat, blow up. Blow up. Tell me you're ready for high school. If you didn't read the title of today's lesson, it is Getting Ready for High School. Grade 9. Zane wants to know what I use to stream. I use software called OBS. and then it streams directly into YouTube. So today, I've hooked up my, finally figured it out, my dock cam to my OBS. Kurt is ready. Aiden is not ready. Cole is not ready for high school. Well, then that's what today's lesson is for. It's to help you get ready for high school. Because whether you like it or not, folks, we are closer to high school than you want to believe. Robo says high school sucks. Or that's her brother. Oh, come on, Robo's brother. High school is great. What sucks about it is that Mr. McKinnon and Mr. STAV won't be there. That's what's horrible about it. Throw some hashtag truth in the live chat. Come on now. That's the worst part. Yes. Okay. So, we're not really going to do much of a lesson today. What we are going to do is kind of review some concepts, and then I'm going to give you a math diagnostic that I got from G.L. Roberts. Okay? I still haven't heard back from Pickering High, so I just decided I'll go ahead with the G.L. Roberts. Okay? So, things you're going to notice. Okay? First and foremost, we are focusing on number sense and numeration. Okay? That is one of the most important things I think you guys often, not you guys, but students, forget coming out of grade 8, okay, or get rusty on, okay? And it is one of the most important things because it kind of falls into all parts of what you're going to see in grade 9 math, okay? If you go into algebra, you're going to have to add and subtract integers. You're going to have to add and subtract or multiply and divide fractions, okay, or integers, okay? In geometry, no matter measurement, no matter what you're doing, as I think you saw this year, it bleeds into everything. Okay, so this is focusing about 98% on 3 things. Okay, so adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Hold on. We are getting a glare from the overhead light. Okay? We're going to be focusing on adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing integers. We're going to be focusing on adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions. Okay, and then finally, we're going to be focusing on BEDMAS. So I'm going to integrate all 3 of these into questions. Okay, so you need to be up and feeling good about these going into high school. Okay, Gary Sean wants to know where the worksheet will be, and I will tell you, it will be, can't tell you yet. Stay tuned, because I know if I tell you, Gary Sean, you're not going to listen to the lesson. Okay? So a couple of things. Adding and subtracting integers. Remember, this was grade 7. Come on. Need a little bit more height. Oh, I really done messed that up now. Okay. Multiplying and dividing integers, that is grade 8. Okay, adding and subtracting fractions, that is grade 7. Multiplying and dividing, that is grade 8. Okay, we learned multiplying and dividing integers and fractions this year. We reviewed adding and subtracting because I think it's so important for high school. Okay, so if you are struggling with those, I will tell you, do not go to high school if you don't feel comfortable with these. Now, I'm not telling you not to go to high school, but what I'm telling you to do is to get comfortable with these before you go to high school. Okay, do you understand me there? I'm not telling you don't go to high school, but I'm telling you that you need to spend serious time on this. Okay? Not because any other reason than it will make your day-to-day life easier. Okay? I will tell you right now that I did not give you homework this year. Okay? Put hashtag facts in the chat. Okay? You can confirm that. I didn't give you homework this year. Okay? Only homework I gave was independent work and math journals that you didn't finish in class. Okay? If you didn't get it done, then that made homework for you. Okay? I think there might have been 2 or 3 times where I actually said, take this home and bring it back tomorrow. Okay? Pretty much never had homework. That is not going to happen in high school. The number one thing our students come back and tell us is that high school has way more homework. Okay? So, if you look over my shoulder here, yes, Kurt and Justin giving me the hashtag facts. Here might be an example of something a math teacher teaches you. You have a 75-minute period, okay? And maybe the first half of the class is teaching and the second half of the class is working in the classroom, okay? Yes, Gary Shun says, all year I give you 1 piece of homework. For math, that is not a lot, okay? But I think you can agree in the chat, I worked you hard and I gave you a lot to do, okay? So it's a different learning style though when you get to high school. So you'll work in a 75-minute work period. The first half is going to be a lesson. It's going to be some sort of input from the teacher. The second half will be chances to practice, to work through the math. Okay, nothing that you're not used to. Okay, and then as you walk out the door, they'll likely give you something like this. And you will need to finish all of these questions before tomorrow. Okay? And if you don't, then your mark is going to suffer. Okay? I will tell you that one of the rare things about my math program is how forgiving I am and how many chances I give you to finish incomplete work. Okay? That is not realistic as you go into high school. So if you've gotten used to that, get out of that. Why do I do it then if it's not realistic? Okay? A lot of parents say to me, Mr. Stav, you shouldn't do that because it's not like high school. I do it so that you know that you are smart enough to get an A. Okay? If you work hard enough, you are smart enough to get an A. You're not dumb in math. Okay? You are smart enough. You are smart. You are very capable of getting an A, even in academic high school math. Okay? What is your obstacle is work completion and studying. Okay? A number of you came 2-3 times to rewrite quizzes, which is great because I gave you that opportunity. But you need to learn to practice and study and do practice questions like these, or you need to find websites online where you can actually practice these concepts and fail tests before you get into the teacher's classroom. Okay? Hopefully, my hope coming out of grade 8 is that you saw that if you practice, if you do the work, and if you go over and over and over again, you'll actually learn these concepts. You'll learn what the teacher is teaching you, okay? And you'll actually get A's in math, okay? All of you are very capable, okay? But you do have to put in work, okay? So I'm going to give you this grade 9 diagnostic test. These are all questions that you have the capability to do based on what was taught in grade 8. These are things that the grade 9 math teacher hopes that you know coming in. Okay, it's not anything they're going to teach you. Okay, they assume you know this and they are going to move forward from this. Okay, if you are struggling with adding and subtracting integers, and that's okay to struggle with that, but you need to practice. You need to ask. If you have a tutor, you need to work on it with a tutor. If you don't have a tutor, I never had a tutor, then you need to find friends, okay? And shout out the chat if you're willing to help friends, right? These are the types of times where friends take on a different role. It's not just hanging out, but it's having each other's back and saying, hey, I see that you need some help. I got you, okay? Now, if you're too embarrassed to ask, then there's not much I can say there other than I hope you would overcome that fear, that anxiety, and that you would kind of swallow your pride and you would reach out to somebody and say, hey, you think you can help me with this? Okay. Now, time out. The math year is not done, right? You're still stuck with me, right? And I still have the ability to help you and work with you. MrStav.ca is not dead, okay? All of that stuff is still there, okay? There is value in going back and practicing and doing the math again, okay? This stuff matters. So, no more talk. Talk is cheap. Okay? Let's talk about adding and subtracting integers. Okay? Integers are just positive and negative numbers. Okay? So, you've been doing this for years. 2 plus 3. Okay, that is an integer. Okay? Where it's really important is that you can do the adding and subtracting with these negative integers. Oh, Aris is saying in the chat, we also have notes in our math books, and just look at the table of contents. Bonus marks for that. Shout out. I love that. Thanks, Aris, for saying that. Use your notes. I think you took good notes. So, okay, this is where STAV Towers comes in. Oh, bye. Come on. Okay, so this is where STAV Towers comes in. This is what floor you start on. This is the direction you're going in. Floor. This is the direction. And this is by how many. So you're starting on the negative second floor. You're going up 3. Okay? What is really important for you is to remember the ninja battles. So let's pull up this graphic. Oh, thank you, Gary Sean. It's 1. Yes, I forgot to actually answer that question. Cole, what project are you talking about? What I'm assigning for this week? I will absolutely go into depth about that. Okay, so here we go. These are very, 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 very important as you go into high school. You remember these ninja battles. Okay, so this is not a ninja battle. Okay, because they're not side by side. Okay, a ninja battle would look like this. Okay. Okay, so there's a ninja battle. So a positive and a negative, positive and a negative, okay, equals a negative. So -2, take away 3. Then you can do the whole STAV Towers thing. We're on the negative second floor, and we're going to go down 3. So -2, -3, -4, -5. So we're going to from here down 1, 2, 3. Okay? MrStav, I'm cool with this. No, that's cool. Just stick around because we're going to kind of touch a little bit on everything. It's a quick review. Here's a ninja battle. 2 negatives equals a positive. -2 plus 3. Start on the negative second floor. We go up 3 floors. Okay? Thank you, Gary Sean. answering +1 in the chat. I guess I could write it. Okay, and we do not have to write a positive sign. We could just write a 1, and we know that that is +1. Okay, we feel good about this. Okay, so that is adding and subtracting integers. Okay, you're going to need that. So let's switch it up and talk about grade 8, multiplying and dividing integers. Come on. Okay, so multiplying and dividing. This is where we talked about flipping the switch. Off, on, off, on. Okay, so we talked about how we have -7 times -2. Okay, we're starting in the negatives, and we flip the switch 1 time. Okay, so instead of being negative, now we're going to be positive. Okay? We talked about a couple of strategies to do this. We talked about the flip the switch strategy. We've talked about even and odd. So here we can count that there is 1 negative factor, 2 negative factors. And so 2 is an even number. Does this sound familiar, everyone? Okay. If we were multiplying a third one, there would be a third negative factor, then our answer is going to be negative. Okay, so we talked about how we do the math as usual, ignore the negative factors. So 7 times 2, which is 14. Okay, and then 14 times 1, which is still 14. So my answer, I think I can use the green because this one doesn't have the green screen effect on it. So the answer is 14, and then we just count the negative factors to decide, is it going to be a -14 or a +14? Okay, and since there's 3 negative factors, it's an odd number, so it's -14. Okay. Now, if I got rid of this negative factor and just said -7 times +2 times -1, that would be an even number, and so our answer would be +14. Okay. Aris is being awesome in the chat still today. He's on a roll. He's on fire. And he's reminding me of the Knoll way as the third strategy. And a lot of you adopted my Knoll's way, okay, in which you just counted how many negative factors. So if there was 3 negative factors, Knoll went like this. 1, 2, 3, and he ended off with a negative sign. If there was 7 negative factors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 negative factors ends off with a negative sign. If there was 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we end off with a positive sign. Our answer will be positive. Okay? I don't care which strategy you use, and neither will your math teacher in grade 9. In fact, your math teacher in grade 9 might not even know Knoll's way, because Knoll just kind of just did what he thought made sense to him. Okay? And he will definitely not know what Knowles way is if you say it, okay? So, whatever you need to do to get this answer right. And so you remember I was asking you questions like this. Now you can take a screenshot of that and actually try to solve it. But truly, what I'm trying to do here is ask you to predict what the final answer will be. Will the final answer be positive or negative? And all we had to do this year was do this. 1 negative factor, 2, 3 negative factors, 4, 5, 6, 7 negative factors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Knowles way tells us, oh, you couldn't see most of what I just did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Our final answer will be a negative answer. Okay? Okay? Or 7 is an odd number, so our final answer will be negative. Okay? Super important you remember this. Here's my goal. Right? If you go to school on September whatever, and they start getting into this stuff, and you forget it, I will leave this YouTube video up, and you can come back and rewatch it. Nobody has to know, and you'd be like, "Hi, MrStav," and I'm going to say, "Hi, grade 9 you." Okay? And you can review these very important factors, okay, or features, or math concepts, okay, so that when you get to grade 8 or grade 9, you are ready to go with some of these really basic or important facts that they are, or concepts that they're relying on you having. Okay? So this is going to be a question, not this one exactly, but you're going to see a question like this on the diagnostic, on the test we're doing this week. Okay? It looks hard, it looks scary, but you have the ability, you have the knowledge, you have the concepts in you to be able to conquer a question like this. Okay? So multiplying and dividing, all you need to know is the even or odd or Knowles way. Okay? Okay, let's talk about adding and subtracting fractions. Okay? Remember, this is the grade 7, and in my opinion, is harder than the actual grade 8 multiplying and dividing. Okay? When adding and subtracting fractions, okay, what do you need to have in the denominators? Come on, chat, help me out. Okay, for the sake of the video, I'm not going to wait much longer. Maybe it's just a longer delay. Yes, so Gary Sean says we need a common denominator, aka we need the denominators, the bottom numbers, to be the same. Okay, once they are the same, we keep the denominator. Okay, we keep it. And then we do whatever math, add or subtract to the numerators. Okay. Now, we had some different strategies. Okay. So if you're somebody with good mental math, you'll know that you can make these the same. So you can either multiply 4 by 2, and that'll get you to 8. Okay? Or how would you get 8? You see my calculator? See if you go 8 divided by 2 equals 4. Okay, so I can make this 8 like that. So that would change this to be 1 over 4. Now that I have a common denominator, I keep the denominator. Okay, it's going to be 3 plus 1. Okay, so 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, which equals 1 whole. 1 over 1. Okay. Okay, so this is the same whether it's adding or subtracting. Subtracting, same thing. Find the common denominator, keep the denominator, and then do the math up top. So 3 take away 1 is no longer 4. 3 take away 1 is 2. Okay? Okay. Hopefully you're sitting at home and you're like, got it, good. Okay? If you are not, okay, then you need to make note of this to yourself and say, I need to practice this. I need to go find websites. You can literally go to Google and type in adding and subtracting math worksheets. Okay? A website that I highly recommend, which I think is free right now because of COVID. MrStav.ca/math. Okay, no, not /math, /links. MrStav.ca/links. Use these links. Wow, that internet is so low. Okay, you just go to student math. From now until the end of the year, this has to be a priority to you. Okay, you have to be comfortable with this. What just happened? Not because student math. There we go. Not because of your report card, but for your knowledge, for your abilities. Okay, you need to be saying to yourself, I need to practice this, and do it now while you have me. Okay, because you're comfortable with me. You're comfortable with my teaching style. Okay, come to Guided, and I can sit here with the whiteboard and I can help you. Okay, if you come to IXL, okay, you can sign up for free right now because of COVID. Okay, you can literally go to even grade 9. You can go to grade 8. Okay, and here are all the concepts that we have covered this year. Okay, so here's operations with fractions. We're going to get to that. Oh, that's what we're doing right now. Okay, so finding the common denominator. Okay, reciprocals, all that. Multiplying fractions. All of these are just practice questions. Okay, so I would hit IXL up. And if you don't remember IXL, just go find it on my website. Okay? It's worth your time. Meher is saying, wait, IXL is free. IXL is temporarily free because of COVID. Okay? That is something that they released to support distance learning. Okay? So I would do it. Honestly, it is worth it to pay for it if you're willing to practice. But I'll tell you right now, you don't have to pay for it. And that's huge, okay? So, Whoa is right, Aiden, my man. Yes, tons of practice. You guys can even attempt some grade 9 stuff if you want to kind of see how you're doing. Okay, so this is adding and subtracting fractions. Now, MrStav, what if I'm not good at mental math and I don't feel comfortable doing a common denominator? Then that's quite all right. What do I have? 8 and 4. I have 3 and 2, I think. That's what I have. Okay, so then what you need is what we talked about, a little trick way of doing this, okay, is multiplied by the other denominator. So 4 times 8, and what you do to the bottom, you do to the top. Okay, and then this times 4. As Amina would tell you, this is a slow way of doing it. Okay, so it is not fast, and I'm not sitting here telling you it is fast. I'm telling you it is the slow way, but it's the way that I had to do it until my mental math kind of caught up with me. Okay, so 4 times 8 equals 32. So I'm just going to write it here because I don't have a lot of whiteboard space for you guys to see. And then 8 times 3 is 24. Okay. 8 times 4 equals 32. Good. So now we have a common denominator, and 4 times 2 is 8. So now that I have a common denominator, I can keep the denominator, which is 32, and I can subtract. So 24 take away 8 equals 16. Okay? Is this my final answer? Maybe. It all depends on reducing. Do you remember reduce? Reduce is the one where I said don't hit the button, and you hit the button, and we revealed my also not fast way of doing reducing. Okay, and because this is simply review, if you know how to reduce, awesome, love it. If you have a fast way of doing it, awesome, love it. If you have good mental math strategies, awesome, please use those. Okay, Justin says I can reduce this one. Okay, and so remember these numbers are prime numbers. So we're going to use these as our can I reduce. So I always start with the lowest possible prime number. Hopefully as you're watching this, you're like, oh, I remember. Okay, so 16 over 32. So we're going to divide it by 2, divide it by 2. Come over here to my calculator. 16 divided by 2 equals 8. Because remember, what you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. 32 divided by 2 equals 16. Okay? We keep going until we are stuck. Okay? So I'm going to go again. 8 divided by 2 divided by 2. If you're sitting there and you say, MrStav, both are divisible by 8, you are right. Okay? But I'm just showing the slow MrStav way of doing it. Okay? So we keep going until we cannot reduce any further. Okay? We cannot reduce. That then puts us into simplest form. Okay? On this week's test, a diagnostic, you always need to go into simplest form. Okay? Kurt says in the chat that IXL says $12.95 per month. So Kurt, after the stream, go and Google IXL plus COVID-19 and see if you can find a coupon code. That's kind of how most of these websites have been offering COVID discounts. Okay, So if you can't find it, let me know. It's possible that they turned it off recently, but the last I heard, it was free and I had students using it. Okay, so we've talked about multiplying, dividing, adding and subtracting integers, multiplying or adding and subtracting fractions. We talked about how to find a common denominator, how to reduce. Okay. Talk about multiplying and dividing fractions. Which, remember, we agreed were easier. Oh, it's literally out of sight. Because you do not need a common denominator for adding and subtracting fractions. Okay? For multiplying, you literally just multiply the tops, the numerators, and multiply the denominators. There's no keeping, there's no nothing. It's just, if you have 1 over 4 times 2 over 3, you're going to multiply the top. So 1 times 2. Okay, and 4 times 3, 4, 8, 12. Okay, and then reduce. So 2 divided by 2. Well, you do the top, you do the bottom. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay. I'm going fast because we have the luxury of playing back this video. Okay, so if you want to go back, you can rewatch this video over and over again, or you can go back to MrStav.ca. No, not that one. There. You go to MrStav.ca and go to my math page. All of the lessons are there. Amen. Everything that we did this year, all of my, what's more important is my PowerPoints. Okay? Animation by animation. Okay? You can get all of this over again. Multiplying and dividing fractions. Okay? It's all there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a URL. So MrStav.ca / math 2020. I don't know. I'll make it. I'll let you know later. And so next year when you're in grade 9, if you're struggling with some of these concepts, you can go back to MrStav.ca and you can, I will not change this page at all. I will leave everything here for you. Okay? So in grade 9, you can come back and re-explain yourself some of these concepts or work through some of these concepts that we did in grade 8. Okay? So that is huge. That is epic. Okay? So I hope that you'll take advantage of that when you need it. Okay? If you don't need it, then don't come back and visit. Okay? So visit me in person, but you can also visit me online. Okay? Okay, so that was multiplying. Let's talk about dividing. Somebody start rapping in the chat. Somebody start rapping in the chat. Because you know what it's time. It's time to talk about dividing fractions. I want it on all caps chat room. Here it is. Multiplying and dividing fractions. Yeah. Horace is hitting it in the chat. Yeah. Justin dropping the hashtag KSF. Ah, here we go. Everybody say keep, switch, flip. Keep, switch, flip. When dividing all the fractions, you keep, switch, flip. Keep, switch, flip. Keep, switch, flip. When dividing all the fractions, you keep, switch, flip. Holla! Oh, yeah! I don't know what it sounds like on the live stream, but it's pumping over here. Yay! Keep, switch, flip. Keep, switch, flip. When dividing all the fractions, you keep, switch, flip. keep, switch, flip. Keep, switch, flip. When dividing all the fractions, you keep, switch, flip. So if we have 3 over 4 divided by 1 over 7. Yeah. I want to keep them simple numbers for you. Okay, 1 over 2. There we go. Okay. We're going to keep the first fraction. We're going to switch to multiplication. And then we're going to flip. In other words, we're going to use the reciprocal. Okay. Your teacher in grade 9 is going to call it the reciprocal. You need to know that word. So we're going to flip these. It was 1 over 2. And now we're going to say 2 over 1. So it's 3 over 4 times 2 over 1. And now we just multiply across. Keep, switch, flip. Keep, switch, flip. When dividing all the fractions, you keep, switch, flip. Holla! Ara says I should make a remix. Yeah. You should drop. So it's 3 times 2, which equals 6. 4 times 1, which equals 4. We can reduce this divided by 2, this divided by 2. 6 divided by 2, do I have space? Yes, I do. It's 3 over 2. We reduced. Yeah, shut up, Gary Sean. Nailed it in the chat. Okay. Oh, how's the music sound? So, that is dividing fractions. Okay. Now, a note. In high school, they're going to expect you to convert these to mixed numbers. Okay. So instead of 3 over 2, we would say 1 and 1/2. Right. Now, on the diagnostic, because I'm doing it online, Carrie Sean, it's going to be online. Okay. The computer, it was really confusing for me to put in mixed numbers as the answers. So I just said, forget it. I'm going to leave it as improper fraction. So in today, if you get an answer that's an improper fraction, or this week as you do the test, put it as an improper fraction, okay, not as a mixed number. Okay, but get in the habit in high school of making your answers in mixed numbers. Okay. So we're pretty much near the end here. The last is just BEDMAS. We've been doing this all year long. Are there any brackets? Is there anything in the brackets? Okay. This is a number inside of brackets, but there's nothing to do inside. There's no function or operation. Okay, that's a negative sign. It's not an operation. Okay. That is an operation inside, and that is something to do inside of a bracket. Okay? As you get into high school, you're going to get brackets inside of brackets. You always do the inside, like the most inside brackets first. So you'll do this and then this. Okay? And then once all your brackets are done, then you can cross it out and you can go to exponents. Okay? A lot of you freak out and you forget to do your BEDMAS. Okay? And I hope by now, all year, I've desensitized you to BEDMAS, that you are no longer scared of BEDMAS. It's just part of the steps. Okay? Just follow that BEDMAS. All right? And I still, as a teacher, write out BEDMAS and check it off. Okay? And it's not because I'm dumb, okay? It's because it's a strategy to make sure I'm organized and that I don't make dumb mistakes, right? Because smart people can make dumb mistakes, right? And that's going to happen sometimes. I just try to minimize my dumb mistakes, okay? So I just kind of use it as a checklist, okay? I sent these questions to another teacher, and I said, can you make sure that my answer key is right? and he got back and one of the questions was wrong, and it was, then we had to figure out who was wrong, me or him, and he actually made a bed mass error, and he's a great math teacher. So how? Because he's a smart man, but he made a dumb mistake, right? So it happens no matter where you're at. So use your strategies to make sure you don't make dumb mistakes, okay? I think we covered a lot. I spent a long time. Definitely rapped a bit, which is very important, okay? I'll ask you, chat, if you have questions, start putting it in the chat as I wrap up. So now I'm going to start talking about the diagnostic, okay? So I'm going to leave this up here because this is so important, okay? I imagine that the hardest part for you guys of this diagnostic will be this, okay? Adding and subtracting integers. Not any of the grade 8 stuff that we did. I think it's going to be the grade 7 adding and subtracting integers. Okay? So take your time. It's not a race. I don't care who does it first. My goal for this is for you to look at this and say, Mr. Stav, I got this. Or to look at this and say, Mr. Stav, I got work to do, okay? At this point, folks, it is not about your report card. I can't stress that any more important, okay? It's not about your report card. And some of you are going to check out and you're going to say, I'm not going to do it then. Sure. I tell you the same thing if you're in the classroom. Check out. Go ahead. It doesn't bother me, okay? At this point, it's not for me. It's not for your parents. This is for you. If you know how to do this, you're going to be pizza. You're going to be awesome in high school. Okay? If you don't know how to do this, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be discouraged. And I don't want you to feel discouraged. That's my whole program in grade 8. Your math program in grade 8 was to build your confidence in math. So that when you get to grade 9, you know you can do it if you try, if you put in the work. Okay? You have all the resources. You'll have my website. Okay? You'll have tons of videos from me. Okay? So, let's get rid of this. So here's kind of what it looked like on paper. Okay? And I have modified this and I've put it into a quizzes for you. Okay? As you look at these, some of them you'll say, I think I can do this. Okay? And then you get to this page and you'll be like, ah! Look at this doozy. All right? And get ready to freak out here. Chat, are you ready to freak out? If you are going into academic math next year, I am not policing this. Again, this is not for your report card. This is not for me. This is for you. If you are going into academic math, you are going to attempt this diagnostic without a calculator. Mr. Stav, don't do this to me. Now, you'll notice that this year I pretty much let you use calculators almost, I think it was all but one test, okay? Why am I telling you? Well, what I've done is we've gone ahead and we've used friendly numbers here, okay? Your mental math should be strong enough here, okay? Your mental math should be strong enough if you're going into academic math to conquer this, okay? When you look at this, it looks tricky, but a calculator is not going to simplify this. What's tricky about this question is that you have to understand bed mass, you have to understand adding and subtracting negative numbers, and you have to understand adding and subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions, okay? So when you look at this, you're going to freak out. Your eyes are going to bug eye, and you're going to be like, I have to do this without a calculator. But if you take time out, set a timer for 10 minutes. Okay? Say, hey Siri, set timer for 10 minutes. Boom. She starts a timer, and you just give yourself 10 minutes to work through this problem. STAV, I don't need 10 minutes. Good. Okay? So, just break it down concept by concept. This is bed mass. That's all it is. So, when you look at bed mass, the first thing that you check is brackets. Okay, well, there's a bracket here, there's a bracket here, but there's no operations inside of these brackets, so then we go to the E, which is exponents. So here's an exponent, so everything else disappears, and this is the only thing we do. So this huge, massive, scary question, now all it is this. Now how do we do exponents? Well, exponents are repeated multiplication. So let's go back to OBS and turn on my dot cam. 1 over negative 2 to the power of 2 just means this multiplied by this 2 times. Okay? So times 1 over negative 2. Do you see how this is a question getting you ready for high school? Now, do you see how you don't need a calculator here? Because this is simple math using the concepts that I just covered in this lesson. 2 times 2 is 4, and then we can go ahead and count the negative factors. 1 negative factor 2. Use the null strategy 1, 2. It's a positive 4. I didn't need a calculator yet. Up here, top, 1 times 1. Okay? So, then I come back. Come back to here. And now instead of this scary looking thing, I know it's just 3 plus 1 over 4. Okay? If you forget how to add and subtract and multiply and divide whole numbers, then you need to go back to MrStav.ca/math, and you need to go to my lesson, and you need to go to our work, independent work, and you need to review that. Okay? Think back to when we talked about a guided. Okay? So this is a big question, and I definitely put it on the screen to kind of startle you a little bit. Okay? The goal of this test is to just kind of give you a reality check. Okay? For the last couple of weeks, math has been quite easy. Okay? Miss Oikawa and I planned it that way, right? To give you the easier stuff at the end, because normally if we were in the classroom, you'd be trying to catch up pre-report card and hand in all that unfinished work that you guys let slip, right? So we were trying to be nice, okay? But it's time to kind of flip back into, ooh, we do need to remember some math going into grade 9, okay? So it looks like this. You see this? No calculators allowed, okay? MrStav won't know if you use a calculator. MrStav won't care if you use a calculator, okay? I honestly believe your best self-check is to not use a calculator, okay? Now, if you're going into applied math, okay, then here's what I'm going to tell you. Maybe set a timer for 2 minutes, okay? And then if you aren't able to do that question without a calculator, then pull your calculator out. Or challenge yourself to always try to do the mental math first using strategies that you know, okay? And then, if you still can't get it, then use a calculator, okay? Or if you're getting super, uber duper frustrated, I would rather you pull out the calculator and use a calculator than actually just give up. Does that make sense? Okay? So, this will be posted on quizzes through your Google Classroom, okay? I will make it unlimited attempts, okay? You can do this as many times as you would like. If you have questions, okay, let me know, okay? If I have the same question for many people, I'll come back online and I'll answer those questions, Okay, I've been quite lonely in guided recently, so maybe this is for you to come and sign up for guided. I will be offering guided only on Friday. Okay, because I'm going to be uh, recording for grad a lot this week and doing a lot of editing. Okay, so we will work through this week, next week. This is super important. Okay, if you have friends who have checked out, okay, if you have friends that have stopped doing any of the math work or have stopped doing anything, whatever, okay, I would ask you to contact them, right? And let's say you're playing PS4 and you're like, hey, Nish, have you been to math recently? And he'd be like, oh, no. And say, hey, go try this one. Okay? This is not for me. I do not care what your mark is. Okay? I care if you're not able to do it, then I know that I'd be like, hey, I got to reach out and say, Meher, do you need my help? Okay? So this will be live in just a couple of minutes. This is not intended for you to do in one sitting. Okay, maybe you want to crush it in one sitting. Okay, this is this. I don't know what I want to say. This is for you to get yourself ready. Maybe you want to bookmark this, and you want to try it now, and maybe you want to do this the last couple of weeks of August. As you're getting ready, you're starting to feel nervous about going to Pickering High or to J. Clark or wherever you're going. Okay. Cole, he has a new house? Yo! My man, way to go, Anish. I was just using that as an example because I know he plays PS4 a lot. If you're feeling anxious going into high school, maybe this is something. Set a Siri reminder or some sort of reminder on Google through your Chromebook, and say, remind me the last week of August to pull this test out and start doing it again. Okay. I'm just trying to offer you support as you go into high school so that you feel better going into high school. Okay. So why am I doing it this week and not in a couple of weeks? Because if you discover this week that there's things that you need help with, I can still help you. If I did it in the last week and you discovered, it'd be a lot tougher. Now, with that said, I'm a nice guy. And, if a student reaches out to me and says, MrStav, can you help me? Right? I'm not going to be like, sorry, dude, you graduated. Okay? You always reach out to me, and we'll get you the support that you need. Okay? So, last chance for questions in the chat. Okay? Now, I'm going to post this in the Google Classroom. So if you do have friends from Miss Oikawa's math class or Miss Fitzgerald's class, and they say, whoa, what is that? You can just explain it to them. Share this video with them if they want to try it. So I'm just, while I wait for any questions in the chat, I'm going to assign it. Grade 9 diagnostic. Okay. There is like 3 easier algebra questions we have to solve for a variable. Okay, I didn't put a lot on there. If you're going into, this is all I'm typing. If you're going into academic, no calculator. Okay. Now, this is not the difference between academic and applied math. Okay. Where academic you can't use calculators and applied you can. Okay. You're going to be using a calculator a ton in academic. Okay. That is not the distinguishing factor. One of the biggest factors, my Siri 10-minute timer just went off. The distinguishing factor is speed. Okay. The pace and the rate that you're going to go, the workload that you're going to have is going to be a lot higher in academic. Okay, you're going to have more questions to do. Okay, so get yourself into this frame of mind that as you go into high school, we are going to ramp up the speed and the workload. Okay. All right. So you could do it unlimited times. I will validate. Okay. Don't want a leaderboard. Do not shuffle the questions. I don't have answer options. These are all fill in the blanks. There you go. So it is in Google Classroom. It is live. The last thing I want to tell you is that no matter what the question, okay, you cannot write anything other than the answer. So if the answer is -2, do not put a space. So don't put space -2. Don't put space negative space 2. Okay, just put -2, no spaces. Okay, if it's an improper fraction, write 44 over 22. Use this as your slash for fractions. Okay, no spaces at all. Okay, I'm not using mixed numbers in this at all. Okay, so that's enough time. I don't think I have any questions in the chat, so I'm going to say thanks for joining me. Okay, send in your grad stuff. Okay, make sure you get that to me. Trust me, it looks sick, and you're going to feel left out if you don't get all of your stuff in. And it's not because I want you to feel. I want you to feel included. I want you to enjoy it and be a part of it. Okay, so. All right, with that said, nothing left in the chat. Thanks for joining. You guys have yourselves a good day. Good luck on this. Don't stress. It's not about stress. It's about take your time. It's about seeing what I need to get better at. All right? Cole, can I say more about the project? Can you, what project do you mean, Cole? You mean last week's data management project? Later, Kurt. Thanks for joining, buddy. Later, Aris. Later, Justin. T. Later, T. Later, Addison. Bye. Cole, tell me which project do you want more information about, and I can absolutely share more information. Cool. Oh, the carnival thing. So the carnival thing, this is more important than the carnival thing. I'll tell you that right now. Do this first. Make sure this is a priority. And then if you have time, the carnival thing is make a game, go play a game that has to do with probability, in which it is more likely for you to lose the game than to win the game. Okay? And then film yourself playing it. Or if you have a little brother or a little sister, make them play it, and then explain either in the video, like you can be on the video, or you can just, like I'm doing, write on paper, and you can video that, and you can say, this is he says, I know. What more information do you want? Bye, Robles. Bye, Janae. Bye, Nathaniel. The purpose of the project, Cole, is to just kind of be. Oh, is there success criteria? No, I didn't post any. I really just. The success criteria is make a game. Okay. That it's more likely to not succeed than it is to succeed, and then explain to me the math. So show me the probability, right? So if there's 3 out of 5 chances to get the complementary event, so to fail, right? Then you would do 3 divided by 5, 3 divided by 5. You'd say that's a 60% chance of failing this game. Okay. Yeah, Cole. Essentially, it's just a chance to have fun, right? That's the nice thing about this data management unit is you can kind of just we can have a little bit more fun with it, a little bit more play based, directive. So yeah, go have some fun, and then show me some math within that game, right? So I showed carnival games. Maybe you didn't want a carnival game; you had a different game in mind. Okay, so. But today's quizzes is more important. So prioritize that if you haven't done the carnival game yet. Okay. Peace out, Aiden. Well, thanks for asking that, Cole. Any other questions? That's a really good question. For the thumbnail, obviously. Cole, you still here? Smile for the thumbnail. All right. Gotta do it for the. That's for the thumbnail. Cole, have yourself a good one. To whoever else is here, there's 8 of you. I don't know what you're doing, but go have a good day. Thanks for joining. Not a homework thing. Ooh, good idea. Like that. Later, Cole. Later, everyone. I am signing off.